You said 30 minutes. 3 hours later, you were still on the court. Here is the science behind why pickleball does that to people. The learning curve. Most sports punish beginners. Pickleball does the opposite. Within 30 minutes of picking up a paddle, a complete beginner can rally, score, and feel genuinely competitive. The court is small. The ball moves slower than tennis. The rules are simple enough to learn in a single game. And unlike golf or tennis, where months pass before anything feels natural, pickleball gives new players a taste of success almost immediately. That early feeling of competence is what gets people hooked before they even realize it is happening. But here is the trap. Easy to learn does not mean easy to master. Once a player gets comfortable with the basics, they discover spin, placement, speed control, and kitchen strategy. Angles that looked simple suddenly require precision. Soft shots that seemed easy start demanding touch and feel. The game quietly reveals its depth layer by layer. Suddenly, 1 hour turns into 3. That cycle of fast progress followed by a new ceiling to chase is exactly what makes pickleball impossible to walk away from. The beginner gets just enough to want more, and more is always available. The kitchen. No other sport has a rule quite like the non-volley zone. The kitchen is the 7-foot area on both sides of the net, where players cannot hit the ball out of the air. It sounds like a small restriction. In practice, it changes everything. It removes raw power from the equation and forces players to slow down, think, and wait for the right moment instead of just attacking every ball that comes over the net. This one rule is responsible for the entire dink game. 2 players trading soft, low shots just over the net, each one waiting for the other to pop the ball up or lose patience. It looks passive from the outside. From inside the rally, it is pure tension. Every single shot matters. One bad dink and the opponent attacks. One moment of impatience and the point is gone. The kitchen turns pickleball from a simple hitting game into a chess match, and that mental pressure is deeply addictive in a way that pure power sports never achieve. Players do not just want to win the point. They want to win the dink battle first, and that battle alone can last 20 shots. The revenge factor. Pickleball matches are short. A game goes to 11 points. Sometimes it is over in 8 minutes. That brevity is part of the problem. When a player loses a close game, 11-9, after leading the whole way, the pain is immediate, but the solution feels just as close. One more game. That is all it takes to fix it. That cycle is almost impossible to escape. A loss does not feel final in pickleball the way it might in a long tennis set or a full round of golf. It feels correctable. Players replay the last 3 points in their head, convince themselves they know exactly what went wrong, and step back onto the court, certain the next game will be different. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is not. Either way, they are already asking for one more. Ben Johns has spoken about how competitive drive at every level is part of what makes the sport grow. Recreational players experience that same fire even at open play on a Tuesday morning. A stranger beats them with a soft dink they never saw coming, and suddenly leaving the court feels impossible. The rematch becomes the only thing that matters. That refusal to walk away with a loss, that burning need for one more shot at it, is one of the quietest but most powerful reasons pickleball steals hours from people who only meant to play for 30 minutes. The rally. Tennis rallies at the recreational level last 2 or 3 shots before someone misses. Pickleball rallies last much longer. The slower ball, smaller court, and underhand serve all reduce the advantage of raw power. This means players with completely different athletic backgrounds can compete together and still produce long, exciting exchanges that neither side wants to end. That extended back and forth creates a feeling of flow that is rare in racket sports. Players enter a rhythm where movement and reaction happen automatically. Decisions get made before the brain consciously processes them. Time disappears. A 2-hour session feels like 20 minutes. Sports scientists call this state flow, and most recreational athletes spend their entire lives chasing it without ever really finding it. Pickleball is built in a way that almost forces players into that state, and once someone experiences it, even once, they want it again every single time they step onto the court. The competition at every age. Most competitive sports have a short window. By the mid-30s, the body starts declining, recovery slows, and the competition fades. Pickleball does not work that way. A 55-year-old with good hands, sharp court sense, and a reliable dink game can genuinely compete with a 25-year-old who is faster but less experienced. The game rewards patience and placement more than pure athleticism. Quickness helps, but it is not the only path to winning. This is why retired athletes, former tennis players, weekend warriors, and people who never touched a racket in their life are all showing up to the same courts and having competitive matches. Pickleball does not ask you to be young. It does not ask you to be fast. It asks you to be smart and consistent. That promise of lifelong competitiveness is one of the deepest hooks the sport carries, because the hunger to compete never really disappears with age. It just needs the right outlet. Pickleball gives it back to people who thought that part of their life was finished. The community. Walk onto any pickleball court, and within 5 minutes, a stranger will invite you into a game. The culture surrounding the sport is unusually open and welcoming in a way that most adult recreational sports never manage to create. Open play sessions mix beginners and advanced players without separation. Strangers become regular partners after 2 sessions. Regular partners become close friends after 2 months. The social structure of pickleball builds itself naturally every single time people show up. Players like Simone Jardim have talked publicly about how the community pulled them deeper into the game before the competition even did. For most recreational players, the court becomes a place they look forward to returning to, not just for the sport, but for the people waiting there. That layer of genuine human connection, sitting on top of an already addictive game, is what turns casual players into people who play 5 days a week and still feel like they are not playing enough. The sport gives people competition, exercise, and friendship all in one place, and that combination is almost impossible to find anywhere else in adult life. The progress loop. Pickleball players rarely plateau for long. Every few weeks something clicks. A new serve, variation, a better reset under pressure, a cleaner third shot drop that finally lands where it is supposed to. Each small improvement changes how the game feels and immediately opens up new problems to solve. The learning never stops, and neither does the motivation to keep showing up. Professional players like Dylan Frazier describe their own game as constantly evolving, even at the highest competitive level. For recreational players, that same feeling of visible improvement is available at every stage. Beginners feel it after their very first week when rallies start lasting longer. Intermediate players feel it when their dink game finally stabilizes and they stop popping balls up for opponents to attack. Advanced players feel it when their speed-up attacks start winning points reliably and their opponents cannot read them. There is always a next level visible just ahead. Chasing it is the entire point, and the game is designed in a way that makes the chase feel permanent. The addiction. Pickleball is not popular because it was marketed well. It is not popular because celebrities picked it up, or because sports networks decided to cover it. It is popular because it is genuinely difficult to stop playing once someone truly starts. The combination of fast skill acquisition, deep strategy, short competitive matches, physical competition, and social connection creates something most hobbies and sports never achieve. It satisfies multiple needs at the same time. People who try it once almost always come back. People who come back regularly almost always start rearranging their schedules around it. Early mornings, lunch breaks, and weekends quietly get consumed by court time. The fastest growing sport in America did not get there by accident, and it did not get there through marketing budgets. It got there because the game itself is the advertisement. Once someone truly plays, really plays, the only question left in their head is when they can get back on the court.